Hey, welcome back to another edition of Campfire Tales at the Land Camp. And today we're going to be talking about title insurance. But before we get into that, I want to talk you through just a real quick recap of what our week's been like here at Davidson Land Company, as we want to keep you posted kind of real time on what's going on. A pretty average week. We have been intaking leads that come in and reaching out, talking to sellers, and trying to establish which properties we're going to be able to make feasible offers on and be able to take into inventory. We do have one property that we're putting under contract to purchase this week, so that's great. And really, other than that, it's been kind of status quo. We were supposed to close on a property for purchase this Friday. And if you are not sure what I mean by that, the actual purchase with the real estate attorney, we use a real estate attorney or title company to purchase all ours versus doing a self-close, which is a whole nother topic we can get into one day. But we use a real estate attorney, a third-party real estate attorney that we've used for quite a while, done many transactions with, and have complete confidence in them. And they are able to cover multiple states, which is very helpful. So with that being said, leads into our topic. We were supposed to close on a property this week, tomorrow, and unfortunately something came up in the title insurance and the title search. So we always do title insurance. We always obtain title insurance on our properties that we purchase so that we can convey a clear and marketable title. And what that really means is there are no issues with the chain of title as it went from one owner to the next owner to the next owner and was handed down from this person to that person. Whatever that looks like, it's always a clearly documented, registered, filed at the county. So everything is in proper order from one person handing it or selling it down to the next person. So a lot of times what you find in families is that it gets inherited or someone passed away and they didn't have their affairs in order, didn't have the proper wills and documentation that go along with that to pass the property from one generation to the next or from father to son, whatever it might be. That can leave a bit of an issue sometimes because someone else could come in and lay claim to that property during that unknown period of time. And what we found out for this past week, what happened was the father had passed away, but he had left the property to his two sons, and I was working with one of the sons, and I didn't even know there was a second son. But one of the questions we ask when we're intaking our leads is, how many people are on the deed? Are there any other names besides yourself that would need to sign to be able to transfer ownership to us if and when we come to that point? And, I ask that question all the time. 90% of the time I get, straight answer. Everything's, accurate. Never heard about this other brother, this second brother. So until the title search comes back and they say, hey, there's a second brother, unfortunately, he's deceased. And so there's no record of his portion of that ownership of the land being transferred properly to anyone else. And so they would have to kind of open up an estate to try to figure out who owns what, if he had children, heirs, and where it would fall to. And that ownership would fall on the other brother, as he is technically still partial 50-50 owner in this piece of land. And he's the one I've been dealing with. He's like, I don't have any interest in doing that. I'm not paying for anything else. And that's quite common. That's what we find a lot of times is people are just like, hey, I'm done with this piece of property. I don't want anything else to do with it. I don't want to spend any more money on it. No taxes, no HOAs, nothing. Just take it. And I want to sell it to you and get it off my books. So don't blame him for it, not wanting to do anything with it. Unfortunately, this is probably going to be a lost cause where no one really can do anything else with this property. And this one brother who's still alive is probably going to continue to pay property taxes on it until he passes or passes it on to someone else. And then but you still got this other brother side of ownership that is in limbo. So that's where a title search can save you as a land flipper, land investor, a lot of headache down the road. So if I were to have bought that and didn't do a title search, and when I try to sell that piece of property, and then that new buyer that I'm working with goes to do their own title search or and get title insurance on it, and they find, hey, this was not properly done, then I'm liable for that, and it causes a lot of headaches, causes a lot of extra legal fees, a lot of time and investment, resources that have to go into it. And so it's something you just don't want to deal with. So I recommend title searches and title insurance on every property that you're purchasing if you're investing in land. So, and it's not very expensive. I think for me, a title search in my area, southeast of the United States, with this company I'm using is around $250, and that's average. I'm happy to pay that. They're pretty quick on their turnaround and work with me when I get into situations like this. So that's what I'm looking at. The title insurance itself, you pay for on the HUD. You pay for all these on the HUD if you actually get to close on the property. And the HUD will list out what your title search was, your fee, and then your title insurance, which is based on the purchase price. And so it's usually not very much on smaller parcels of land, unless you're doing major tracts of land, like hundreds of acres, then you're probably going to have a more significant cost there. But anyway, title searches, title insurance, I strongly recommend them to keep you out of trouble when you go to convey the properties yourself down the road. So that's it. If you have any questions about that, just leave them in the comments. Happy to answer anything that you might have or point you in the right direction if I don't have that information myself. So I've got 15, 20 plus years real estate investing experience. I've been investing in land since 2007. I've been through a lot of these situations, unfortunately, good and bad, and then I can help you stay out of the weeds and out of trouble a lot of times, but I don't know everything, and I'll admit that, and I will try to point you in the right direction if I can. So with all that being said, thanks for tuning in this week of Campfire Tales at the Land Camp. If you need anything, you're looking for how to get started investing in land, go to thelandcamp.com. We got a couple different packages. We got a coaching package. We got a study, self-paced study course that you can do on your own. So hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully it's helpful for you, and we'll see you next time.